What is up? All right, today, the next Jam Ball episode. So we're gonna have four segments today. The first one's gonna be Jammers of the Week. Second one will be our playoff wildcard predictions. The third, we'll talk about the first 18 picks in the NFL draft. And then our final, we'll be talking about the head coach fires and the vacancies, and maybe even get into who is being looked at by each of the six teams. All right, to start off the Jammers of the Week, we have Joseph with our top five and our two honorable mentions.
Yo, what's good, boys? All right, we're back with Jammers of the Week, so let's not even waste any time because this is a doozy. This week was very, very, very tough to choose these guys. I'll say that for sure. But let's not even waste any time. Let's get into the honorable mentions. Honorable mention number one goes to Tyree Wilson on the Raiders, getting 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Congrats to you, my boy. Alec Pierce is our second honorable mention with 4 catches and 2 touchdowns and 132 yards, which is kind of crazy that you didn't get on this list, but shout out to both of y'all. So now let's get into the actual top 5. And speaking of 5, we got Zay Flowers with 138 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Came in clutch against the Steelers, but you guys still lost. Sorry. You only came in clutch for like 2 catches at the final 5 minutes, so that's why you're at 5. That's a lot of 5s. Anyways, at number 4 spot, you got Ramondre Stevenson with 7 carries, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, you may be asking, why is he higher than Zay Flowers? Again, 5 minutes for Zay Flowers. Ramondre Stevenson did this in 7 carries. That's kind of insane. That's why he's higher than Zay Flowers. Number 3, we have Matthew Stafford with 259 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, meaning he is now, RIP my boy Dak, but he is now the passing yards leader in the NFL. He just had to take it from my boy Dak. You know, Dak could probably won it. Anyways, at number 3, and number 2 spot, you got Jadeveon Clowney. Welcome our first defensive player on the Jammers of the Week. This is a doozy stat line, so bear with me here. Jadeveon Clowney against the Giants had 1 forced fumble, fumble recovery, 3 sacks, 6 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. And now you're probably wondering, why is he not number 1? Well, I'll tell you why. Because number 1, with the record-breaking season in sacks, shout out to the man, Myles Garrett. Yes, he had 1 sack, but I think you just have to put him on here because that's a record that rarely gets broken, and Myles Garrett finally did it at age 30. That dude is something else, and I mean, I think this is going to be possibly a Hall of Famer, obviously a Hall of Famer, and possibly one of the best defensive ends in our game that we've ever seen. And that's Jammers of the Week.
All right. So now we're going to be talking about the AFC and NFC wildcard. We're each just going to give feedback on who we think is going to win, and I'll just be starting from the earliest game to the last game. All right, so the first game, we have the number 5 seeded Rams at the number 4 seeded Panthers. So I'll be going first, and I believe that the Rams will beat the Panthers. You guys go next.
All right, I'll go next. Yeah, I will also be taking the Rams here. Yeah.
I mean, do we really need to talk about this game? I mean, the Rams are just way too strong for the Panthers. I feel like the Panthers are too inconsistent. They're just a playoff spot holder. So give me the Rams.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give credit. Yeah, but I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. The Panthers earlier in the year did beat the Rams, but this is playoff time, and the Rams they've been in the playoffs a lot longer and more recently than the Panthers have. So, yeah. All right, the next game we have the Packers and the Bears. This is gonna be a close game. This is gonna be a really close game. Honestly, I'm having a tough time picking right here. I'm gonna go with the Bears still, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a really close game. It's gonna come down to the last play.
I will also be going Bears here. But I do think, like what Angel said, it would be a pretty close game.
Yeah, I mean, y'all taking the words out of my mouth. I think everyone thinks the same thing about this game. This game is going to be the tightest game, possibly all year between these two teams. With that being said, give me the Chicago Bears. I mean, they've been playing really hot football right now. I don't think I could really bet against the Bears right now. So give me the Bears.
Well, when we thought that game was going to be difficult to call, honestly, this one might be as difficult. It's going to be the Bills versus at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been putting up a lot of points recently. They've been putting up 40 points a game with these last like 6 games, I believe. They've been really good. But it's just for me, I'm gonna be picking the Bills to beat the Jaguars. I believe it's gonna be a really close game because the way that both of these teams are, it's like it's hard to pick, honestly. I'm gonna go with the Bills because I trust that Josh Allen can lead the Bills this year to the divisional round and end up beating the Jaguars, even if it's on the road.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Bills here. I do think the Jaguars are pretenders. I know they've been playing pretty well. I will give them that. But just playoff Josh Allen, I'll take him over the Jags.
Yeah, I agree with both of you here. I will say this though. I'm gonna be taking the Bills here. By the way, I will say this. Jaguars, if you guys beat the Bills, I don't know if there's a team that after you beat the Bills, I don't know if there's a team that you really have to worry about. I feel like if you beat the Bills, because you already handled business with the Broncos, you've proved that you can handle business with the Broncos in the regular season. If you just beat a playoff Josh Allen, I think you have the recipe to make something happen and possibly pull AFC Championship out of your yes, out of that area. Anyways, yeah. And so give me the Bills though.
Okay. All right, the next game. Where is it? Okay. The next game is going to be the 49ers at Philadelphia. Honestly, I don't think the Eagles are as good this year as they were last year. Obviously, who knows? Maybe the Eagles will be better in the playoffs, but I'm gonna go San Francisco. I think San Francisco's been really great this year. It's just they're 12-5 and they didn't win the division because that's how great their division was this year with Seattle and the Rams. But I think San Francisco has the recipe and has the players to beat the Eagles this game. Yeah.
Yeah, this should be a pretty close game. I will say the Eagles have been not the same as they have in seasons past, but and the 49ers, even with injuries, they're looking pretty good this season. I will say I want the 49ers to win, but there is still a pretty good chance the Eagles can win this. But give me the Niners.
Okay. As a Cowboys fan, I'm gonna try to keep bias out of this as much as I can. Um, the Niners all season long have been going through adversity with all those injuries and have been proven to be a threat at all costs. Eagles, they just have a really great defense. That's the best I could say without giving any criticism. I'm trying my best not to give criticism here because both teams are very, very talented. With that being said, though, I don't think the Eagles are going to pull this one out. I will say it will be a very, very close game, very defensive game, but I do think the Niners will have a little bit more edge than the Eagles do. So give me the Niners by barely.
Nice, nice, nice. All right. The next game that we have here is the Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots. Look, I'm not gonna discredit what Mike Vrabel and the Patriots have done, how they flipped their season around from last year to this year. It's just my opinion. I believe they haven't really faced many great teams this year besides like the Bills, who they had to play because they're in the division. I'm gonna go New England. I'm still gonna go New England, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers are able to, I guess, pull up an upset. So I'm gonna go New England, but I do think the Chargers do have a really good chance to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots this season have had one of the worst schedules this season. I'm pretty sure they've had the like worst schedule this season, and by worst I mean worst
The
teams.
easiest, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but I will still go over the Patriots. I will still take the Patriots over the Chargers just because the Chargers have been more inconsistent, and I've liked more of what I've seen from the Patriots.
Okay. Now my heart really wants to give this to the Chargers here because I really do like this Chargers team, but it's in Foxborough. Um, Justin Herbert. I mean, even though you've been playing on a broken hand, I mean, I don't think you're quite prepared for the playoffs as everyone thinks you might be. I do think that this Chargers team is very talented in many ways with Ladd McConkey, Amari Hampton, but I do think this Patriots team has more playoff experience in Mike Vrabel. They don't have as much playing experience as a team, I feel like, but I do think the Patriots are gonna handle business in their own home stadium and probably one of the hardest places to win a playoff game on the road. So give me the Patriots.
All right, in our final game, the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, I don't care if the Steelers won their division or playing at home, and the Texans didn't win their division or playing away. I think the Texans are just a better team than the Steelers. After starting off 0-3 this year, the Texans just got after starting off 0-3, they just got really hot and like they've been really good. Their offense has been a lot better as of recent. Their defense is always really good. I just think the Texans are gonna win. I don't have anything much else to say.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Texans, their defense is elite. I mean, it's probably the best defense in the league right now. Um, the Steelers, their defense has been not as great as it has been. Also, their offense is pretty mid. So I will be taking the Texans here.
Okay. Uh, I'm not even gonna try to hold y'all. I'm not trying to like drag this. So let me get the Texans here. I will say DK Metcalf is coming back for this game, so keep an eye out for that. But that's really all I can say nice about the Steelers, that you got DK and a solid defense, but the Texans are just way more talented than you are and on a hot streak. Give me the Texans.
And that was our wild card predictions. And honestly, like I said earlier, um, all of us actually had the same predictions. We all picked the same. All right. So now we're gonna be um talking about the NFL draft order, the first 18 picks that are locked. And the Raiders have the first pick in the NFL draft this year, and they had a 3-14 record to end the year off. Obviously, the biggest need, like it says right there, is quarterback. So that's probably what they'll be taking with that first pick. Joseph, if you want to read the Jets one.
All right. With the number 2 pick, the Jets have secured that at a 3-14 record. The Jets need about anything right now. It would be a cool idea to get a wide receiver, but no. Let's get a quarterback. Probably secure a quarterback of the future for now.
All right. Now, Manny, if you could read number 3.
Yeah, the Cardinals will have the third pick, and it says their biggest need is quarterback. We'll see if they do get rid of Kyler.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, now the fourth pick is the Tennessee Titans with 3-14 record. As a Titans fan, they need a lot. Honestly, this pick is honestly between either a wide receiver or an edge rusher. That's what they should be picking at number 4. All right, number 5, Joseph, go ahead.
All right, number 5, we got our little brothers in the East, New York Giants at 4-13. This team honestly is a very talented team. I can say though, you could probably work on your secondary, or if you really wanted, uh, I would say maybe get some offensive line help, possibly, maybe a little bit of defensive line or interior D line as well, like it says on the thing. But cornerback, interior, maybe some O line to help out with that New York Giants squad.
All right. Manny, if you could read number 6.
So 6 is going to be the Browns. They're saying quarterback, but honestly, if I were the Browns, I would go receiver.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true, very true. All right, now number 7, the Washington Commanders with a 5-12 record. Biggest need defensive end. I could agree with that as well. They definitely need to add to those that defensive that edge rusher position. They definitely need that, especially with Von Miller probably going to be a free agent again, and then they just need help at that position in order to get better, obviously. All right, Joseph, you can read number 8.
All right, we got the number 8 overall pick going to the New Orleans Saints at 6-11. It says their biggest need is wide receiver. It is a big need, but I could argue that their biggest need is an edge rusher, since they might lose Cameron Jordan to free agency or possibly to retirement. We'll see. D line, or sorry, interior D line. I feel like you could upgrade there too. Basically the entire defense. You can literally like upgrade any position with this draft, and no one really would judge you. But yeah, biggest takeaway for the Saints: edge rusher, and I guess a wide receiver.
All right, Manny, number 9.
Yeah, number 9, we have the Chiefs at 6-11. It says pass rusher, which I don't hate, but you could also go like running back, because I don't think Pacheco is going to be the answer there.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that one. All right, number
Yep.
10, we have the Cincinnati Bengals with a 6-11 record. Honestly, the Bengals just need a lot. It says interior defensive line, and I had said that in one of the mock drafts that I had done. I do agree with interior defensive line, but if anything, they just need to pick a defensive guy, a superstar on defense, any type of superstar, because this defense is honestly what's really holding this Bengals team back. Because their offense is great, but it's hard to win games when you're not playing great defense. All right. So now number 11, Joseph.
Dang it! I missed out on him. It's okay. At least Manny's got him. Okay. We got the number 11th pick going to the Miami Dolphins at 7-10. Biggest need, quarterback. I could see it. I could see it because they want to move on from Tua. Tua wants to move on from the Dolphins. So if you can find a good quarterback at the number 11 spot, go ahead. But I do think personally you need to work on protecting your future quarterback, because I feel like that offensive line is getting a little worrisome. Who knows if Teron Armstead's gonna be there for one more year? You're begging like your entire like your entire salary cap, basically, that you're gonna keep Teron Armstead for one more year every year. So who knows if this is his last year or not? Um, Another need I feel like the Dolphins need to address possibly is getting some secondary help for sure. Um, yeah, so secondary help, offensive line, uh, quarterback as well. So yeah.
All right, Manny. He got your team number 12.
Yeah, Cowboys number 12 at 7-9-1. Um, I will say they do need a DB really bad. Any like safety, corner, any of that they need to pick.
Yeah, true. All right, number 13, we have the Rams, but this was originally the Atlanta pick that was traded last year in the first round. So the Rams, it's saying biggest quarterback. I understand where they're going or where they're coming from because obviously Matthew Stafford, he's an older guy, and we gotta see what happens when the pick comes up. I was thinking maybe he could try to get like a cornerback because like they do have Emmanuel Forbes and Roger McCreary, but McCreary's gonna be a free agent. Forbes, he's improved, but he's not like the best of cornerbacks. So maybe they can choose a young stud cornerback to help improve and build up for these next couple of years, and they can be a franchise corner for them. All right, Joseph, number 14.
All right, the 14th overall pick goes to the Baltimore Ravens at 8 and 9. Sad way, by the way, going out with Tyler Poop kicking. Oh, sorry, Tyler
Okay,
Loop.
bro,
Sorry.
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Sorry.
It's not right.
That's on me. Baltimore Ravens, you guys need. I feel like you guys need an edge rusher or some help on that D line. Any help on the D line will be a significant help. You guys got Madubake, and I feel like that's really your biggest significant guy right there. Yeah, just get some edge rusher help, and maybe an interior D line. So it's really just on the D line.
All right, Manny, number 15.
Number 15 is going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks. Biggest need being linebacker. I do agree with that. I do think they could need a linebacker.
Yeah, true. All right, number 16, the New York Jets. Wow, I can't believe he did that. That's nice. Well, in their earlier number 2 pick, obviously they're gonna be choosing a quarterback. I was saying that if there's a wide receiver like Mekhi Leonard, Denzel Boston, they're at the position of 16, that would be a perfect place to take a wide receiver, and you could end your first round with taking your future quarterback and a future wide receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson. All right, number 17, Joe.
We got the 17th pick going to the Detroit Lions at 9 and 8. I mean, it's saying interior offensive line, but I really like this offensive line for the Lions. So I would say probably work on your secondary. I feel like working on that secondary will definitely give you a boost for sure. I think specifically secondary, I would say a corner. I think that's realistically all you need. I mean, I like that D line. So I mean, maybe an edge rusher actually. To pair well with Aiden Hutchinson. So a corner or edge rusher. That's really all the Lions need.
And the last one, Manny. Wait, yeah, Manny. There you go. Number 18.
All right, 18, the Minnesota Vikings. Biggest need, saying center, which I don't hate. Yeah, I was just trying to think of something else they could need.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand why they would say center, like an interior lineman, because Ryan Kelly, he is an older guy, and but this will be his final year of the 2-year, $18 million salary signing that he made with the Vikings. So I completely understand that. I do understand that. All right, and those were the first 18 picks of the NFL draft. These are the predicted by ESPN's FPI. These are obviously not going to stay the same. The possibility they could possibly, but these are like what it's saying right now. But these are not going to be the official 19 to 32. So they'll be different, and we'll talk about that once the season's over. Okay. All right. Now, our final segment of this video, we'll be talking about the head coaching vacancies and the fires that happened today. Obviously, I can bring that up. We have with our first uh vacancy, our first job opening, we have the Falcons. Raheem Morris was fired, but I believe yesterday, right? Yesterday?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. He was fired as well as the GM. I'm looking at CBS Sports, and what they're saying are the best for new guys trying to become head coaches. What are the best teams? Who the top teams are from 1 to 6? Unlike that looks intriguing, you know. So Falcons, obviously because they have Michael Penix is going to come off the injury. He's a young quarterback that and also they have a really solid offense with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. So they bring him back. Like that's a very intriguing option, definitely. Number 2 is the Giants. The Giants aren't going to have the number 1 pick again, but they do have a young quarterback who has showed flashes of improvement throughout the year. Jackson Dart, he looks good. They're going to Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo are attractive as well. They're both coming back from injuries. And then they also have a really elite tackle in Andrew Thomas. And they do have a pretty good defense with a young stud in Abdul Carter. The number 3, they have the Titans. Um, Mike Borgonzi, he's going to oversee the 53-man roster, and he's going to be leading the coaching search from now on. Why they are an intriguing option is because they have Cam Ward, a former number 1 overall pick. He's looked good for what he had this last season. He looked good, and he's gonna have a bright future for sure. And they also, what's intriguing about it is they have the number 4 pick, and they have the most money going in most cap space going into this year's free agency. At number 4, they have the Raiders. They're intriguing because they have Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. They also have the number 1 pick, and they have $100 million in cap room. So what's really intriguing about that is that number 1 pick in the draft, because that could be used to get their future quarterback, their franchise quarterback actually. And then also because they also have Max Crosby, depending on what's going to happen between him and the Raiders. Number 5 is the Browns. They have obviously the great praise goes to him, Myles Garrett. I believe he's the best edge rusher in the NFL right now. They have a really good tight end in Harold Fannin Jr. and a great linebacker in Carson Schweissinger. Also, they have Quinshon Judkins, which is really good. Obviously, we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like. I'm assuming they're going to stick with Shador, but also what's rough about the Browns is that how much money Deshaun Watson's contract is weighs on their on the cap space. So they're only gonna have 12 million. They have $12 million over the cap. So that means they're negative money right now because of how much that contract is affecting their salary. So that's what ranks them at number 5. And then number 6 is the Cardinals. They lost their last 14 of their last 15 games this season. And honestly, the quarterback situation is very uncertain right now. The problem is that if they let go of Kyler, it's going to be really hard to get a guy of Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore because obviously they have the Raiders and the Jets in front of them, who are both quarterback needing teams. They don't have that much cap space. They have $21 million in cap space, but they do have Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, Harris Johnson Jr., and they also have Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. I just want to ask you guys, what do you think each team should be looking for? What type of coach should each team be looking for? If I could ask you guys.
Hold on, say which teams? Which teams?
So we can go. What type of coach do you think we'll start off with the Falcons. What type of coach do you think the Falcons need? It can be like when I'm saying this, I'm asking, do you think they need a more offensive minded head coach or a more defensive minded head coach? Is what I'm trying to ask here. The Falcons,
okay. I think Atlanta needs a coach that's more on the offensive side because they've had a lot of I feel like in the past you've had Arthur Smith and then now Raheem Morris, where I feel like they both didn't know what to do in certain situations. Arthur Smith would put Tyler Algier or use certain decoys over his superstars, And then this year, when things got tough, when you lost your starting quarterback, everything fell downhill. So, with that being said, you need a calm and collected coach that is gonna know what to do in certain situations like that. And I think a good coach that could fit that role. I gotta look at the list. I'm sorry. Hold on. I am not prepared. Hold on. You got a
You're
list?
saying offensive minded?
Yeah, like an offensive minded head coach possibly for the Falcons.
Yeah, I do got a list. Yeah, I do got a list actually. So offensive minded coaches. So I'm just gonna be going off of offensive coordinators. We have obviously there's. I'm gonna give you my personal. I'm gonna give you the top three that I believe are gonna be who are really good offensive coordinators. Cliff Kingsbury from the Commanders, right? Clint Kubiak
Mhm.
from the Seahawks. And this is just my opinion. No, you don't have to agree with me or not, but I would say Joe Brady from the Bills.
I'd say give me Clint from Seattle. I mean, you've seen a lot of success out of that offense. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba as a number one wide receiver. I mean, I don't think anyone was really expecting that, like that production. So that obviously had to go into a lot of scheming with the offense. And I think sending Seattle's offensive coordinator over to I'm blanking. Sorry, to Atlanta would be a very great fit for Atlanta, and definitely going to be able to produce more with Bijan, more with Kyle Pitts, and produce way more with Drake London, possibly getting that offense back on track. The defensively, we're just going to have to see how Clint would handle that. If he wants to bring in some more guys, or if he wants to bring in or if he wants to just keep the same coordinators, just change up the head coach. I mean, that's fine too. But yeah, I think the Seahawks offensive coordinator would definitely fit the Falcons more.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Manny, I want to ask you, what do you think the Giants should be looking for a head coach? Should it be an offensive coordinator, more offensive minded guy, or a defensive minded guy? You had to choose.
Yeah, I think they should probably go for more of an offensive type of guy, just to like
Yes.
bring the most out of what they can of Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors. They do have
Yeah.
quite a bit of pieces there to help get them to get better.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. And also, in my opinion, I feel like Clint Kubiak is the best offensive coordinator, like who could be possibly be a head coach. I think he's the best one. And honestly, any of these teams who are looking for more of an offensive-minded guy would love to have him in their building and be their next head coach. So yeah, for sure. And I totally agree with you on what the Giants need. All right. I'll go with I'm gonna do the Titans at number three. Personally, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I just need someone who's going to be able to focus on helping Cam develop, and as well bringing good culture to this team, and not having things get they can't control uh, the squad and what they can do to be better team. If I had to pick my top three, I'm gonna go number one, Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator. Number two, Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks offensive coordinator. And number three, it's because of how I feel based on the other ones and how it's looking right now with a lot of Chiefs, um, with the Chiefs, Matt Nagy, and uh, why am I forgetting his name? But the Chiefs coordinators, those are the guys who have been requested for interviews. But if I would rather have Mike McCarthy than any of those guys because I personally think that he would be a better fit than any of those two Chiefs. But my top two for sure, and it's by like one and two are much higher than three. And I really like Chris Shula and Clint Kubiak for the Tennessee Titans. All right. Number four, the Raiders, Joseph. What do you think um, the Raiders should be looking for based on offense or defensive minded guy?
I could definitely tell you, do not make my Opa the head coach because he will fire everyone in that building, offensively,
Yeah.
defensively, literally. Shout out to you, by the way. I will say the Raiders. I think they should be going on more of the offensive side. Actually, you want to develop Genty more. You want to make sure that he's gonna want to stay here at least with a very confident offensive minded coach. And since you guys got the number 1 overall pick, just saying, y'all are gonna probably get Fernando Mendoza, who is by far probably the best quarterback in this draft class. Unless you guys go in a different direction with Dante Moore, but regardless, you're gonna get your starting quarterback for the next upcoming season. I think it would be a good idea to invest in that offense when it's very weak and build it up into something that's manageable and potentially work your way up with seasons going on. So I would say kind of a coach that's willing to plan out for the future by taking baby steps. So let's say you went 3-14 this year. All right, let's work up to 7-10 this year. All right. We're still stuck at 7-10. We got to make a change. Then we go to 8-9, then 9-8, and then you make the playoffs. So you need someone that's going to stay there long term and offensive minded.
Yeah. Agree. All right. Now, Manny, you have the next one. And the next team is the Cleveland Browns. So what do you think they should be looking for in a head coach?
The Browns, where'd you go here? It's kind of like the same thing with the Giants. I'll go offense. Just maybe they can bring more out of like a Shador. Bring that offense to be better because they really haven't been good at all since like Baker's one good year there.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. And a lot of the obviously with us, where a lot of us are gonna say more offense, because I agree because like it's just like when these teams have struggled to put up points, and that's the unfortunate thing. These teams struggle to even just put up 30 points a game. Um, and like whether, and a lot of us are also thinking about like what their situation is at quarterback. Like Browns, they had a rookie quarterback, Shador. Titans rookie quarterback. Um, Giants rookie quarterback. Raiders are gonna be having a rookie quarterback, and it's just like more. We need. I feel like these offenses need more development in order to become more successful, and for the entire team to become successful. All right, now we have the Cardinals, our final team. Unfortunately, they're not gonna be able to probably not gonna be able to drop the quarterback at number 3 unless they do choose Ty Simpson, whether if he does play for the draft. Honestly, it's really tough to say because like the Cardinals, they have some good offensive pieces, and then they also have some really good defensive pieces as well. If I'm gonna pick my three guys, I would obviously still say Chris Shula from the Rams, defensive coordinator. I would say Jesse Minter from the Chargers. He's a defensive coordinator. And if I had to choose an offensive minded guy, I would definitely say a guy like Clint Kubiak because those three are definitely really good. Who could end up being really good head coaches and definitely help the Cardinals and help them become a much better team, and they can improve and fight in that NFC West. So yeah, um, well, that is the end of our 4 segments and the end of the video. Go ahead, Manny. You can take it from here.
All right. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys liked. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.